welcome back to my channel. As you can see by my getup and my setup, you can see that this is going to be a very chill, no frills video. I just wanted to talk about some tarot stuff. Yeah, basically, I feel like I haven't really been using tarot for the last year or so, probably 2 years if I'm being honest. I don't know why. Well, no, I think I know why. I think the reason why is because I've been reading tarot for about 10 years now. And I think when I was first introduced to it and first started learning, I was obviously obsessed with it, got my hands on all the decks and all the books. But I was using it for personal development, which is fine. I think it's a great tool for that. But 10 years of personal development stuff on top of therapy and mentorship and all of that kind of stuff and reading self-help books, I think it just kind of came to a natural end for me where I'm moving out of that space. I feel like I'm moving into a more active space of doing and being rather than learning and taking things in. I mean, I'm always going to be learning, but I feel like I'm going a bit outward as opposed to inward. I've been inward for many, many years now and, focusing on myself and, working on a lot of stuff inside. And yeah, it feels like I'm coming out of that space and I want to be more outward focused. And so I think for the last couple of years, I just didn't really know where my tarot practice was at. I would try to use it for personal development stuff, but the readings weren't hitting properly, or I just wasn't interested in picking up my decks. And so I kind of last year gave myself permission to just put the decks down. I have a pretty large collection, so I think it was hard for me because there was a lot of guilt involved with putting tarot down because, I've spent the last 10 years reading tarot, building up my collection, and just that's been such a big part of my life. And to kind of let that go, it was almost like, who am I without tarot? I don't know if anyone else can relate to that, but it was a difficult moment because I think so much of my identity and like everything was wrapped up in tarot. And it feels a bit silly to say that, but I'm just being honest. And so, yeah, I wasn't sure, who I would be without it. I kind of forced myself to get my decks out every once in a while. And I was like, no, this doesn't feel right. And so towards the end of last year, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to let it go. There's no reason to force myself to do something I don't want to do. And if I come back to it of my own free will and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to pick up, such and such deck, or I want to do this work, and it naturally comes back to me, then that's great. And if it doesn't, then I kind of was like, well, that's fine. I can just put my decks away, maybe sell some of them. Because like right now, they're pretty much all on display. So I think that visual reminder as well of, what I've built up and what I'm not using has brought a lot of guilt and shame with it. But I'm trying to just let that be. It, be what it wants to be. Let it be what it is. I'm just going to take a sip of my tea. Look at this gorgeous mug. I'm having peach and orange tea. It's like an immune tea from Tetley. It's delicious. Yeah. So, yeah, I kind of wasn't worried. No, I kind of wasn't too worried about, where my practice was at. I kind of came to a place of peace with it. Like it will either come back to me or it won't. I've had a lot of interests like that. Like the one I can think of the most is zines because I was a zine maker for a long time, and I would go to zine fairs, and when I was on social media, I would post about my zines and talk to other zine people. And so that was a really big part of my life and a big part of my identity. And when I kind of stopped wanting to make zines, that was a big bummer for me, because I felt like, oh, I used to get so much out of it, but I just wasn't getting anything out of it, at that moment in time. And so again, I just let myself be with what it was, and I let, the zine making go. I let the pressure go. I didn't have any expectations of even going back to it. And then slowly I kind of found my way back to it, but in a different way, where it wasn't all consuming and it wasn't my entire identity or my life. And I'm like in a really nice space with zines right now, where I think I made one maybe 2 years ago. And that was really fun. And I have some other ideas for new ones. But it's just an as and when. It's not necessarily like I need to be making it all the time. And actually, zines are a big part of my dissertation that I'm working on for my master's right now. So that's like fun as well, to engage with it in an academic way. But yeah, so back to tarot. I've been, like I said at the beginning of this video, I've been in a space of wanting to create and wanting to produce things, like physical things, with my hands. And I'm really excited to be in that space. And, it's kind of, I feel like I'm in an artistic, creative flow period. I don't know what you want to call it. A fruitful period, whatever you want to call it. And I had the idea like a few days ago. I was like, oh, maybe I can use tarot and oracle for my artistic and creative practice. And that felt really right for me, because it's a fixed thing that I'm already doing. And so tarot will be a nice companion to that. Whereas before, I think I was like, tarot was the main thing. So now it's like I'm doing artsy creative stuff. And now I'm like, okay, how can tarot enhance this? So I'll flip the camera around in a couple of minutes, and I'll show you some of the decks that I've gotten together, that I'll be working with, and what that's going to look like for me. So what I decided that I really wanted to work with, for my creativity and art practice, I thought, what am I interested in outside of tarot? Like, what is my interest right now? And I'm really interested in collage and photography. I'm trying to do more collaging, and I just love photography. So I thought, okay, let me get my decks that are collage, my decks that are photography based decks, and then any ones that are around creativity and art. So I have 3 tarot and then loads of oracle. So this is the first tarot, Turning Terrestrial Tides Tarot. That's a tongue twister. This is like a pocket sized deck. I love it so much. It's super cute. This is totally my aesthetic, because it's basically like how I would make a zine. It's all black and white. It's super cute. I love that there's words on it and phrases as well. The price of anything is the amount of life you exchange for it. I mean, facts. So I just love this one so much. I thought this was perfect to get me back into that kind of space. So that's the first tarot. And this one is mass market-ish. It's like $40 US and I think like 30 something pounds UK. So still expensive for a mass market, but you can buy it pretty much anywhere. So that's exciting. The next one doesn't go into either category, but I've just loved this since I bought it a couple months ago. So this is by Ritual, if you know the Ritual Planner. I just love this so much. So it's basically the RWS. It has all the RWS lines, but they've recolored it. And there's just something really beautiful about it. I love the font here. I love the the recoloring. It's just so beautiful, and I feel like it draws attention to different parts. And I'm a sucker for watercolor anyway. But I think this one specifically, like, I love how the blooms on it are highlighted because they're in different colors. And on the regular Ten of Wands, you don't really get to see that. So I think this contrast really helps. So I thought it's always good to have a kind of basic RWS in my back pocket, I guess, if I ever just feel like I want to use this. So yeah, that is the Modern Hue Tarot. This one is an indie deck. And to my knowledge, you can still buy it on the Ritual website. And then the last deck, this is a collage deck. So I haven't used this at all, I'm not even gonna lie. So I thought, because this is about self-love and self-care, I thought that's a great deck to be using for creativity work, because, you know, imposter syndrome's a thing. So if I can use something that helps me be kinder to myself, then I would love to use that. And I really like this style of collage because it's not too much. There's just enough going on that keeps it interesting, but my brain isn't having a meltdown trying to figure out what's going on and trying to figure out every single reference, which happens with some other decks that I don't have, but I'd never get them because of that. Yeah, so there's something really beautiful about this deck. So I want to use it for, yeah, my creativity and artwork. Witch of Swords, that's a great one to finish on. So those are the 3 tarot decks, and I just have so many more Oracle decks around art and creativity, so it kind of makes sense. So I'll start with the creativity ones first. So this is kind of one of my OG decks. I used to use this all the time. I love Affirmators, everything. I have one of their, I have their tarot deck, and I also have their nighttime, what is it, like evening mantras one. But this one's great if you just need like a quick message regarding creativity and art. It's a bit sassy, it's quite cute. I just love it. Oops. So yeah, this is, I've probably shown this one on here before because like I said, I use it all the time, and I made a specific spread for this one, and it's like Sister Pairing, which is the Sacred Creators Oracle by Chris-Anne. I use these two in conjunction pretty much all the time whenever I'm doing work on creativity or a specific project. I love this deck. It's really beautiful. It's colorful enough that it keeps my attention, but it's also minimalist, which is quite fun. And I just love all of Chris-Anne's work. Her work just really hits in the right place for me. Befriend the word polarize. That's really interesting. I don't think I've ever gotten that card. I always seem to get the same cards, even if I shuffle like crazy. So yeah, this combination, this with the Affirmators Creativity is like my go-to pair, but I have quite a lot more decks, so yeah. Excuse me. This is one of my newest decks. It's called the Artist Deck by Beth Pickens. Has a cute little thing, like it's a pullout. So this has different categories, and then it says the category on the bottom, and it really relates to, oh my god, the elements. It's like, what am I talking about? The elements. So it has really cool, little write-ups on different things depending on what you want to focus on. So, if you want to focus on your blocks, you'd pull something from this suit, rejections, also myths. I've shuffled them in together, although not very well, as you can tell, because they're kind of together. But yeah, it's just really good if you struggle with, imposter syndrome and getting started and finishing stuff, like anything around artistic work. I think these cards are really good. And actually, I did a reading yesterday with a few of these decks, so I'll show that at the end of the video. So this is, sorry about that. This is another one of my decks, the Art Oracles. This one's quite a funny, sassy kind of deck. So it has like different advice on like life, work, and inspiration on each card. And yeah, they're quite funny. I feel like because I love art and my degree was in art history, I really like these, and they're quite funny as well. They're like sassy. It doesn't take itself too seriously. Yeah. Oh, yes, that's one of my favorite paintings of all time. So yeah, it goes from contemporary all the way back to kind of, I don't know, maybe like 1700s. I think that's probably the oldest ones, the artists in this. But yeah, so this is, I think, a good source when I want to have some lighthearted fun and not take myself too seriously, but still want to connect with artists and art that have come before me. And then my last deck on creativity is this one. Again, I have not used this at all because it's pretty new. Like I just got it maybe a couple weeks ago. All I've done is shuffle it and look at it. But one of my besties has this deck, and she says that it's great for creativity work. So yeah, and what's really cool is the book has like all the different directions for a card. So yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about keeping it upright, because if it's in a different position, it might be a different meaning. And I quite like this style as well. And then, yeah, there's different suits in it, and there's one that's like black and white. And it feels really different to the other ones, which is really cool. It kind of feels like you have a bunch of different decks. Yeah, I'm excited to use this. So those are all of my art and creativity decks. And then next, we'll move on to my photography decks, which I only have two. Oh, I should say all of the decks I've shown so far have been mass market, so you can buy them easily at any shop. This one is indie. It's by Adam J.K., so otherwise known as Adam J. Kurtz. Love, love, love everything that Adam does. This is just, I love this so much because he crowdsourced these images from his mail club. He had like a snail mail club, I think, and they just sent in photos, and I think he wrote the phrases, and this one and this deck go insanely well together. Like, the combination is unreal. I also have Adam's OK Tarot, which is really cute. But yeah, so I'm quite excited about using this as well, because again, it's just really beautiful, and like it has quick messages, and I'm just so into photography right now. So yeah, I think this is definitely going to be a winner, and it's going to help me, yeah, reconnect with tarot and oracle in a new way. And then my other photography deck is this one. I got this while I was in Canada in September and October. This is really cute. It's really pocket sized. Again, I love random photography and like what people see in it and what it means to them. So I haven't used this either. But I'm quite excited to. And I think because of the size, I think these two decks are gonna go well together. Actually, maybe I'll just try putting a couple together now just to see what it looks like, because let's see. This is so messy because of course it is. Yeah, so the size is quite similar, just like slightly different. But yeah, this one obviously you have to go into the guidebook, because I don't know what the yellow angel trumpet means. Like, I'm happy to do that, and the guidebook is like tiny, so it's not like I'll be reading paragraphs, you know, like it's like one to two, 1 to 2 pages. Oh yeah, even one. So these are like different. Yeah, does the yellow, let's see if the yellow, of course it's probably right at the end. Yeah, there is magic here in the yellow angel trumpet. To have a name that calls to heaven, but to be a flower that can summon death. To be just as fragrant and alluring as you are toxic. To bloom with your back to the sun, but still adopt its glimmer. That is dark magic if I've ever known her. I mean, that's really beautiful. So yeah, excited to use this deck as well. And then the last two decks are pure collage decks. So again, these are both indie decks. I'll start with this one. This is The Quiet Rebel by Lynn Thurman. She has a bunch of decks now. But just in case you're not familiar with them, they're really cool. She puts them on Kickstarter, and then I think she sells them on her website. This one has a guidebook as well, but you don't necessarily, the messages are pretty self-explanatory, so you can use it. I just love this one, it's so funny. It's quite funny and sassy, this deck, so I quite like it, especially because it's called the Quiet Rebel. That feels really apt for the vibe of my art as well. Yes, so yeah, I just really like this deck. And I think this deck will help me kind of keep perspective and not take myself too seriously. And then this is the Soul Communicator Collage Oracle by Sarah Parson. This is an indie deck. I got it in a really cute shop when I was in Seattle back in October. I think she made this on Canva, and I just love it. So it kind of has a word and then a couple of sentences on one side and then the collage bit on the other. I just really like the way that it's done. It's a really nice linen cardstock, so it's really nice to shuffle, and it's really small. I feel like there's a theme here. I quite like small decks, I think, because I have mobility issues with my hands. So it's nice to shuffle these because they won't hurt my hands. How do you currently view others that surround you? How do you currently view the world around you? For this is a sure way to get an honest look at how you are currently viewing yourself. Interesting. That is so good. So yeah, I just feel like there's a lot that this deck can teach me. Yeah, so I'm quite excited to use it. And there is a little guidebook, but I don't think, oh yeah, no, this isn't, it's just like a little pamphlet. It's not a guidebook, so it's self-containing basically. So I'll go on to show the spread I did yesterday. So I chose a deck from the Quiet Rebel Oracle, and I was kind of like a message for this month for my creative artistic practice. And I got Escape Hatch Freedom. And actually, no, that was the second card I pulled. The first one I pulled was like inspiration for this month. So Sophie Cal, I don't even know how to pronounce her name properly, sorry. I've never actually heard of her. So that was interesting. I want to spend the month looking into her and seeing what can I learn from her, besides reading these bits. And then this was about what is she trying to teach me about. And so it's about freedom. So I was like, okay, that's really interesting. And then I pulled a card from the artist deck, and it was like, what specific thing will it be about? And it's like, oh, it will be about anxiety. But then if you read this is all about resting. And I thought it's really interesting because obviously she's in bed and she's resting. And this whole card is about, and it's called a sleeper, I guess, this piece of art that she did. And this is, yeah, it's just funny that this has come up. And then I also pulled a card from the Sacred Creators Oracle to kind of see what I need to do with this kind of energy. And yeah, I don't know, I'm just really I'm excited. I'm gonna go back to these cards and see how they kind of work out for me this month. So yeah, if you are watching till the very end, thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one.